Want to sound more fluent and professional in English? Let's dive into 15 words that will completely transform your conversations. These aren't just fancy words. They're the secret sauce that native speakers use to sound more articulate and intelligent. Ready to level up your English? Let's get started. First up, we have resolute. If you're resolute, you're determined and unwavering. For example, she was resolute in her decision to move to a new city. It shows strong character. Next, circumvent. This means to find a way around an obstacle or rule. You might say, the company tried to circumvent the new regulations, but they were caught. It's a clever word for a tricky situation. How about exacerbate? This means to make a problem or a bad situation worse. A great example is, his constant complaining only exacerbated the tension in the room. Be careful not to exacerbate things. Let's talk about nuance. This is a subtle difference in meaning, expression, or sound. It's key for advanced understanding. You could say, to truly appreciate the poem, you need to understand its nuances. Another powerful word is profound. It means very great or intense, or showing great knowledge. The book had a profound impact on my thinking. Use this to describe something that really moves you. Ubiquitous is a fun one. It means present, appearing, or found everywhere. Like, in today's world, smartphones are ubiquitous. It's a more sophisticated way to say common. Ever been inundated? This means to be overwhelmed with things or people to be dealt with. After the product launch, we were inundated with orders. It perfectly describes that feeling of being swamped. Next is pragmatic. Being pragmatic means dealing with things sensibly and realistically. Her pragmatic approach to problem solving is why she's a great leader. It's all about practical solutions. Let's look at discrepancy. This is a lack of compatibility or similarity between two or more facts. You might find a discrepancy in a report. There was a discrepancy between the two witness accounts. Epiphany is that moment. It's a moment of sudden realization. I had an epiphany that I needed to change my career path. It's a powerful word for a life-changing thought. How about intrinsic? This refers to something belonging naturally, something essential. For example, kindness is an intrinsic quality of her personality. It's part of who someone is. Vindicate is a strong verb. It means to clear someone of blame or suspicion. The new evidence completely vindicated him. It's a word of justice and relief. Meticulous describes someone who is very careful and precise. He is a meticulous planner, leaving no detail to chance. It's a fantastic compliment for a thorough person. Then we have corroborate. This means to confirm or give support to a statement, theory, or finding. The witness was able to corroborate the defendant's alibi. It adds weight and credibility. Finally, eloquent. This means fluent or persuasive in speaking or writing. She delivered an eloquent speech that captivated the entire audience. It's the goal for many of us, right? So there you have it, 15 pivotal words to make your English sound more fluent and confident. The key is to start using them. Try to use one or two in your conversations this week. You'll be surprised at how much of a difference it makes. If you found this helpful, give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips to master your English. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling a linguistic challenge that promises a pretty immediate payoff.
A big promise.
Huge one, right. We recently reviewed this fascinating stack of material, and it all centers on this one singular, powerful claim.
And that claim is?
That knowing just 15 specific English words can instantly upgrade your vocabulary to the level of excellent.
Making your communication sound more educated, more professional.
Exactly. Yeah. Genuinely advanced.
It's a bold claim, for sure. But the analysis behind these words is really compelling. They aren't just, random high-scoring Scrabble words.
No.
They're terms that signal a speaker is moving beyond just basic description and into more sophisticated analysis.
So our mission today is to really tear into these words.
Yeah, not just define them, but understand their pronunciation, how they're used, and most importantly, why they stand out as these markers of advanced fluency. It's kind of a shortcut to sounding well-informed.
That's what we need. And we're taking these 15 words and grouping them thematically so you can see the connections and start using them. We're starting with words that describe difficult or challenging situations.
The language of conflict and crisis.
Yes. Okay, let's unpack this. The first word on our list, and one you hear frequently in serious discussions, is the adjective grim.
Grim. It means extremely bad worrying, or, without hope. When you choose grim over a word like bad or terrible, you're adding this heavy layer of finality, a real emotional weight.
So it's not just bad financial predictions, it's a grim outlook for the housing market.
Exactly. That implies it's seriously negative, and there's no clear path to improvement.
What's powerful is how flexible it is, though. It works for big geopolitical news, but it can also apply to something subtle, like a person's expression.
Precisely. You might describe someone's expression when they're delivering bad news as grim. It reflects the hopelessness of the whole situation. The mood is just grim.
Okay, so moving from that feeling of negativity to the actual barrier itself, the sources pair up two words here. The verb hinder and the noun obstacle.
A very natural pairing.
Yeah.
To hinder is a verb, and it just means to limit someone's ability, their movement, or their development. It suggests a restriction, a slowing down.
So a knee injury could hinder your training for a marathon.
Right. And if hinder is the action, then an obstacle is the thing.
The noun.
The noun, yes.
Yeah.
The thing that hinders you. It's something that blocks your progress.
So traffic is a classic obstacle during the morning commute.
It is. Or, on a bigger scale, lack of funding could be a major obstacle for a new project. The word itself conveys this idea of a solid barrier you have to actively get around or remove.
And speaking of making things worse, we have one of the most powerful verbs on this list.
Ah, yes. Exacerbate.
Exacerbate. It means to make a problem or a bad situation even worse. This is a word that immediately elevates your speech.
It really does. And the key, the absolute P, is that it always refers to intensifying something that is already negative.
Right, so you don't exacerbate success.
Never. You exacerbate a crisis, a conflict, a shortage. A power outage during a heat wave could exacerbate public frustration. It gives a formal, weighty context to a situation that's deteriorating.
So is exacerbate always the better choice over, say, worsened?
In a professional context, often yes, because it implies that an external action was the direct cause. There's a sense of agency. Worsen can just happen, but something exacerbates a problem.
That makes sense. Our final word in this section deals with the result of all this difficulty, the state of mind.
Baffle. Baffle.
It's a verb that means to cause total confusion. It's what you use when confused, just doesn't quite capture the scale of the disorientation.
Right. So a new tax policy doesn't just confuse the public, it actively baffles them.
Exactly. Or unexpected experimental results might baffle a team of scientists.
And the material pointed out something interesting about how it's used. Yes, that it's very frequently used in the passive voice. You're more likely to hear, she was baffled by his decision, which puts the focus on her state of confusion. It's more impactful.
A great tip for language learners, since complex grammar rules can definitely be baffling.
A perfect transition.
So we've covered the language of crisis. Now let's pivot to our next group. Words that describe character, conduct, and group dynamics. We'll start with the noun demeanor.
Demeanor. This refers to your outward behavior, the way you look and act. It's the atmosphere you project.
It's all about those nonverbal cues, right? A calm demeanor in a crisis can be incredibly reassuring.
It can. Or a manager might have a very serious demeanor during performance reviews, but a friendly one the rest of the time. It's about setting the appropriate tone.
And this leads directly to how that tone, that demeanor, is perceived by others, which brings us to intimidating.
Yes. Intimidating is an adjective. It means making you feel frightened or nervous. This is where someone's demeanor can become a source of anxiety for other people.
You could say, her intimidating demeanor silenced the room.
That's a perfect use case. But it doesn't just apply to people. Starting a new, really specialized job can feel intimidating, or even just moving to a new city by yourself.
But character isn't always about being scary. On the positive side, we have resolute.
Resolute, an excellent word. It's an adjective meaning you're determined in your character, your actions, or your ideas. It's almost always a positive quality.
And it feels stronger than just determined.
Oh, much stronger. It implies an unwavering commitment, especially when you're facing setbacks or challenges.
So you could say someone remained resolute in pursuing a new career, even when everyone told them it was a bad idea.
Exactly. It's that resolute attitude that can inspire a whole team to keep pushing.
So I wonder, what's the line between being resolute and just being stubborn?
That's a great question. And the difference, I think, often lies in the motive. Stubbornness can imply an unreasonable refusal to change, even when it's harmful. Resolute, however, suggests a firm commitment to the goal, but you might still be flexible on how to get there.
So you're resolute in your objective, even if the path has to change.
Precisely. That context is everything.
And to round out this section on group dynamics, we have a word the source material really loved.
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
It's a wonderful noun. It means that mutual trust and friendship that builds among people who spend a lot of time together. It captures that feeling of strong, positive bonds forged through shared experience.
Like a sports team or a startup working late nights.
Exactly. And what's interesting, as the research noted, is the pronunciation.
Right. There's a slight difference you might hear.
Yeah, some traditionalists might say camaraderie with 4 syllables, but most American speakers now use a more streamlined 3-syllable version.
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
But either way, it's the meaning that elevates it. It's deeper than just friendship. It implies a shared history and loyalty.
So we've gone from internal character to group bonds. Now our third group, words about intentional actions, rules, and judgment. This is about defiance and evasion. We start with blatant.
Blatant. An adjective that describes something bad done intentionally and openly. There's no attempt to hide it.
So it's more than just obvious.
Much more. The openness is part of the offense. A blatant disregard for the rules means you're doing it in public, almost daring someone to challenge you.
You hear this in legal contexts a lot. Blatant violations of safety regulations.
Yes, or blatant cheating on an exam. It adds this element of shock that obvious just doesn't have. And if you're being blatant about breaking rules, you're probably trying to circumvent them.
Circumvent. A verb that means finding a clever way around an obstacle or rule. And crucially, the sources note this often carries a negative, sometimes illegal, implication.
That implication is key. You're not just avoiding a problem, you're actively and strategically sidestepping a policy. Hackers tried to circumvent security systems.
Companies might try to circumvent new taxes. It suggests a deliberate plan to evade a legitimate structure.
It does. And when people see a blatant attempt to circumvent the rules, the response is often our next word.
Disdain.
Disdain. A powerful noun. It's the feeling that someone or something is completely unworthy of your respect, your attention, or your support. It's a very specific kind of contempt.
It's absolute. You don't just dislike something, you see it as beneath you.
Exactly. An employee might show disdain for a new policy they think is ridiculous. The strength of the word is in its coldness. If you speak about a competitor with disdain, you're dismissing them as fundamentally inferior.
We have covered so much ground. Okay, we're ready for our final 4 words. These are about scope, importance, and the subtle details of mastery. Let's start with prevalent.
Prevalent is an adjective meaning very common or widespread. It's a more formal way to talk about how common something is, perfect for academic or professional contexts.
It's a word of scope, then. You wouldn't use it for a small local event.
No, you use it for large trends. The flu is prevalent in the winter. Smartphones have become prevalent in society. It captures that sense of ubiquity.
It signals that this isn't an anomaly. It's the typical state of affairs.
Precisely. And speaking of mastery, we come to a word that describes the final step toward true expertise in any field, but especially language. Nuance, a noun. It means a subtle difference in meaning, expression, or sound. And the research we saw suggests that if you're learning a language, this word is absolutely essential for your vocabulary.
And this is where it gets really interesting, right? Because understanding the definitions of these 15 words is one thing.
But true mastery is about grasping the nuances of how to apply them. Understanding the subtle nuance in tone of voice that can completely change a sentence's meaning.
English grammar is just filled with these nuances.
It is. Recognizing that the difference between an okay translation and a perfect one often lies in that subtle nuance of word choice. That's a critical insight for any learner.
And when you finally master all those nuances and reach that point of excellent communication, you are ready to make a pivotal contribution.
Pivotal. An adjective meaning of crucial importance to the success or development of something else. It signifies a tipping point. A moment everything else hinges on.
So a decision isn't just important, it was pivotal to the company's future.
Exactly. A person played a pivotal role in negotiations, meaning without them, it wouldn't have succeeded. The word evokes the image of a pivot point, the central axis everything turns on. It's non-negotiable.
So we have navigated 15 incredibly high-level words. Everything from grim outlooks to pivotal decisions and the subtle nuances in between. We've seen blatant defiance and group loyalty through camaraderie.
And if you take one thing away, it should be this. These words are the shortcut to excellent English, because they elevate your conversations from mere description to sophisticated analysis. They let you discuss severity, exacerbate, blockage, hinder, and critical relevance, pivoted with precision.
It's pretty compelling that even the experts who compiled this list admit that learning is continuous, like that note about the different pronunciations of camaraderie.
It just reinforces the whole theme, doesn't it? If learning these 15 words is a critical step, what does their conclusion, that learning is truly a lifelong process, imply about the ultimate goal?
So what does this all mean?
It raises a really important question for you to think about. Is excellent language skill a fixed destination you arrive at? Or is the continuous search for and application of nuance the actual ongoing achievement? Maybe the goal isn't to finish learning, but to always be resolute in the process. Start practicing these 15 words and just see how quickly your communication shifts.